kids. It's your guy Nix. Obviously, you see it on the bottom of the screen. Your underscore guy underscore Nix. One more time. Shoot that around. Your underscore guy underscore Nix. Twitter, Instagram, man, come follow me. I'm low key. I am dormant on Instagram. But Twitter, though, hey, man, I am supremely busy when it comes to Twitter. I'm gonna let this thing build up a little bit. Y'all saw the tagline. Y'all saw it already. We know that Dak's going to be 22.1 million this year against the cap, which is going to be less than 12% of the cap. But it's like, well, we saw the numbers, right? We saw the numbers. We saw the numbers that said 33 plus million next year. Well, the one thing that's not being talked about, I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on that number at all. I don't think that Dak's going to cost you $33 million. Even though, let's be clear, $33 million next year against the cap, it's fine. It's not a problem at all. It is unequivocally under market even. If we're talking about cap numbers, it is definitely under market. So, all right, let's get there. How do we get to 18 million? And man, I stumbled across something. I literally stumbled across my guy KD Drummond out there on Twitter. He does the Catch the Fade podcast, if you will, with the Science Dropper, right? Patrick, aka No C Walker. Shout out to also the young Luke or the young Skywalker, right? Mr. Steele, that handles business and does what he does for them on the podcast side, right? So the deal. Let me share out real quick. Boom. So this deal, right? The Dak deal. Everyone says 4 million. Like you're going to see 4 million, 4 years, all the money. But they leave out that there's 2 years at the very tail end. And the very beginning of this deal was, well, year 6 was zero guaranteed, zero this, zero that. So what's going on with year 6? What is going on with year 6? Real quick, YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, man, give it a like, give this share. Let's build it up because that blank screen to my my left, but y'all's right. I'm going to show you and drop the science from KD Drummond about what's going to happen and why there's going to be a lot of people that are talking about this Dak deal, right? They're talking about this Dak deal and they overpaid. They did too much because everybody's going to look at it and say, well, damn, Dak's getting 42 million a year. Too much money. Too much money. We can't do nothing, guys. Cowboys Nation, we can't do nothing. Dak's getting too much money. We have to understand in the business of the NFL is this. There's numbers that happen. I don't care what deal. Forget that one. No matter what deal, it can happen, right? We have 17 games, Stu. We have 17 games. I guess we're in a third place tier on the 17 games. I'm going over. I'm going 11. How about 11-6? How about that? Right now, as we're currently constituted, I'll go 11-6. But neither here nor there. Let's get to the brass tacks of. We look at the deal, and everybody's talking about the money and everything, right? But it's all about percentage of cap, guys. Not only percentage of cap, it's all about the actual cap hit. 42 million sounds great. It sounds fantastic. Oh my God. Oh, look at this 42 million. But I mean, we already know that Dak's only going to count 22 million, 22.1 against the cap this year, which is less than 12% of the cap at 183.5. Next year, as we saw the deal, right? Next year says 33. The year after that says 40 some change. And then the fourth year says 47. But then, the year 5, right, says 13. But then year 6 says 0. Zero. So let's get to the brass tacks of what's going on and what's happening with this actual contract with Dak. And again, I posted this about 5-6 hours earlier. Once this breakdown happens and things happen within this contract, man, there's going to be a lot of people with a whole bunch of like Dan Orlowski. We saw he popped the egg on his face a couple of days ago on Get Up. Man, there's going to be a lot of egg on people's faces. A lot of egg, because what Dak did within this contract, and what I try to tell people is, Dak's going to get his money. Period. Dak's money's coming. He's going to get paid. But whenever we had the 2 to 3 years of this thing that was going on, the quote unquote negotiations and whatnot, right? We heard Steven talk about the pie. Every dollar counts, and once it goes somewhere else, right in the inside nine. And what Dak has done is made sure that he's going to get paid, right? Because last year was, well, Dak wanted a 3-4 year deal. The Cowboys wanted a 6-7 year deal, whatever. It's a 6 year deal right now, but low key, it's really a 3. We can stretch it to 4, depending on how they do. But they can't tag him, and they can't trade him. So they can push it to 4, but outside of that, man, it is what it is. And if you look at the structure of the contract and the things that I've been talking about before we got to this point, was there's something afoot, if you will. There's definitely something afoot, if you will, right? So let's get to what was afoot. So it's 22.1 this year, which is going to be between 10 to 11% of the cap at 183.5. Outside of the 15 million less than the 37 franchise tag, right? Right. So let's get to that. While we're here, your guy next is in the building. Like, share, YouTube, sub, Star Gang Podcast on YouTube. Find us there, sub, hit the like up. Facebook, Star Gang is the group. Join the group. Also, we have a page on Facebook. Hit that up, like and follow the page. And then, of course, on Twitter, man, I have exploded on Twitter today. Man, shout out to everybody that has come through and follow me. Your _guy_Nix, man, come follow me on Twitter. But with that being said, let's get to it. Hey, man. Hey, Jax. That's what it takes, man. Hey, I'm not mainstream. It is what it is. Man, I stay on the grind. So, yeah, I've done 50, 11 shows. Facts from Monday till now. Yeah, man, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, man. Appreciate you tuning in and whatever. Even though you left Cowboys to become a Cleveland Browns fan because you're an A&M fan and whatever. But, hey, man, appreciate the support nonetheless. But let's get to it. Look, let's get to how do the Cowboys, because y'all aren't going to believe me. I'm just, who am I? But let's get to how do the Cowboys get to a Dak Prescott cap number under $20 million next year.
Where the Cowboys angle of things, you have to give them kudos. You give all kudos to Todd France for getting what he got.
Everybody gets kudos.
Y'all can hear that, right? Let me make sure I know y'all can hear that.
Just like us, we're giving all the dirt on the royal family. Everybody's getting fed right now. The Cowboys negotiated, as Pat alluded to, a second void year. And what does that matter? Because the proration of the signing bonus from year one is only $22 calendar year. $20 million is the base salary. The Cowboys are now going to be able to, with this built-in.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you.
They are
That's what I was asking. Hang on.
That base salary.
Fair enough.
Turns into, it's basically
Let me stop.
another signing bonus.
Let me rewind.
So they will convert.
Let me rewind.
Or up to $19 million of that $20 million.
Let me rewind. Hang on 2 seconds. That's what I was asking. I didn't know if the volume was there or not. Let me get there. Hang on. Because I remembered. I was like, oh, wait. Did it ask me if I wanted the volume? I don't remember. Hold on. Chrome tab. There it is. Boom. Share. My fault. That they're completely my fault. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh, I lost everybody. I saw 4 people. That's all right. For those that are still here, here is the knowledge and what you need. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And this is where the Cowboys angle of things, you have to give them kudos. You give all kudos to Todd France for getting what he got.
Everybody gets kudos. You get a kudos. You get a kudos.
Just like Oprah giving all the dirt on the royal family. Everybody's getting fed right now. The Cowboys negotiated, as Pat alluded to, a second void year. And what does that matter? Because the proration of the signing bonus from year one is only spread over 5 years. So right now there's a void year that has absolutely no cap hit, no dead money whatsoever in 2026. Here's why. The Cowboys are going to do a restructure of Dak Prescott's contract. Whether it be in 2022 or 2023, one of those years is going to be restructured. And let's take, for example, let's assume it's going to be 2022. His base salaries are as follows: $9 million this year, $20 million next year, $31 million in 2023, and then $29 million in 2024, plus a roster bonus, which is basically just a $5 million kicker to say, if we're not going to keep you for this contract, you'll know earlier in the year, in the league year, than later on in the league year. We can't play you like they did Des Bryant. But back to this 2022 calendar year. $20 million is the base salary. The Cowboys are now going to be able to, with this built-in void year of 2026, they are going to be able to restructure that base salary, which turns into, it's basically another signing bonus. So they will convert $19 million or up to $19 million of that $20 million and turn it into a bonus, which means that Prescott will still get paid the exact same amount, but you're allowed to, remember, accounting magic, you're allowed to now spread that bonus evenly across another 5 years. That's why you had to get a 6th year in the contract. The second year base salary is now spread out over 5 years. The Cowboys, if they do that, the cap hit for Dak Prescott this year is beautiful, $22.2 million compared to $37.7 million.
Right.
Next year's cap hit, $18 million, dog.
$18 million. There you go. $18 million, ladies and gentlemen. $18 million. Easily, the Cowboys pivot this thing this year, 22. Next year, on books currently for Dak says 33. But as you just saw Katie Drummond talk about and what he just talked about, very easy to convert money because you have the 2 years that are avoidable. The last year with nothing, on the books, it's zero money, and they can convert it. Dak's cap number goes to 18 million. Again, I said this before we even got to this point today, that I thought this contract and the way it was structured was moving all the spotlight from Dak to Steven to build a team. I think that's where we are. I think that's what's happening. That's what I believe. And then Katie Drummond came through with the knowledge on the Catch This Fade podcast. And there it is. There's no excuse. There's no reason for the Cowboys not to go get busy in free agency over the next 1 or 2 or 3 years. I think this is a conundrum of a couple of different things. That's what I think. I think it's a conundrum of a couple of different things. One, they completely missed the window, right? Because what we talk about in the NFL is this. If you got a rookie quarterback, look, first rounder or not, you got a 4-year window to go through spend money, win, right? That's what everybody talks about the NFL. And currently the hotbed word, right? The hot topic, if you will, is, well, if you pay a quarterback, right? If you pay a quarterback, you can't win. That's what they say. So let me ask y'all this, ladies and gentlemen. Simply, let me ask you this. So we should basically in the NFL do this. Whether you win a Super Bowl with your quarterback in the first 4 or 5 years that you have him, then you should just trade him away because you can't win if you pay a quarterback, right? What I mean, I'm sure. I mean, that's what they're telling us, Carly. But if you're able to structure in the right way that it costs you less than 12% of the cap, you should go win. Look, I don't care about per year. Look, I had a conversation with a guy. He's an Eagles fan. We went back and forth. Because all you're giving him $40 million a year. I'm like, I don't care about the number a year. Tell me the cap number. What is relative to the team? I don't care if he's getting $120 million this year. If his cap number is only $22 million, that's all I care about. I'm not going to pocket watch you on this side. I only care about what money applies to the team and how it's going to affect the salary cap for the team and what they can go do. That's where I'm at. So 22 this year, easily they can drop that number next year. Dak still gets his money, and we can move forward. Again, we're looking at Jerry pushing up on 80. What's the one thing that Jerry Jones needs to do before he gets out of here, right? He bought the team for $144 million. They're over $5 billion now. He won 3 Super Bowls out of 4 years, but it's all kind of tied to Jerry. He needs to put Jimmy. He needs to put Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. We know that. It is what it is. The last thing, if we're talking about, old Thanos with his gauntlet, the last little beam, the last little stone, the Infinity Stone that Jerry needs at this point is winning a Super Bowl at this stage of his life. So, yeah, I mean, go do what you got to do. This contract with Dak is situated for them to go do what they have to do, right? And it is what it is. I'm amazed as I've looked around, different Cowboys groups I'm in, Cowboys Twitter, around the way, and they're like, oh, that contract, terrible. And I'm like, man, well, why is it terrible? I mean, he could have been 37.1. He's 22 right now. And even before I got this knowledge and this science from Catch That Fade with Patrick No C Walker and Katie Drummond, he was going to be 33 next year. I mean, these are pretty, soluble numbers, if you will, for them to be active and do what they have to do. At this point, it's up to Steven. And then as soon as they got Dak signed today, right, they didn't touch Amari. They didn't touch DeMarcus Lawrence. They didn't touch Zeke Elliott, if you will. They just went around the board. They did what they had to do. And we're at 17, 18 million all of a sudden. They cut a Wale, the fullback. They touched some offensive line. And they can go do a lot more if they want to. It's very easy, as I preach a lot of time on this channel, very easy for them to get to 40 million, 35, 40 million. Very easy to go do that. Again, that's why I'm like, Dalvin Tomlinson should be the guy. Look, I don't think the Cowboys should go out here and go get 2-3 different guys day 1, day 2. It's out of their character. It's not what they do, right? It's not what they do. But one guy would be out of their character, and the one guy that should go look at, do, take care of, and handle is Dalvin Tomlinson. That's how I feel. This run defense is atrocious. It's been atrocious for years. Go back to the Rams game in the playoffs, right? And CJ Butterball Anderson damn near ran for 200 damn yards, right, if you will. And he hasn't played a game since. Nobody else wanted him. And he rushed for 200 yards. I think we gave up somewhere between almost 155 yards rushing per game last year. Let's fix the front seven. Let's get ready. Let's do that. Delvin Thompson does that. He helps a lot. Look, and he helps the linebackers. He helps D-Law. He helps everybody because if you're rushing off the edge, you can't step forward because Delvin Thompson is giving you the push. There's just a lot of different things they can do. But again, for those that are out there say, well, Jerry did too much, right? That's what they do. Or it's not Jerry, it's really Steven. But if they get to the point of, well, Dak got too much money. Too much money. We can't win. Dak got too much of the pie. Shout out to Steven with the buzzword of pie, right? Man, it's not real. It's 22 this year. They can easily construct this thing to make it 18 against the cap next year. It's only about cap numbers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter always $40 million a year or whatever the case may be. It's only about the cap. It's only about the cap. And they have structured the Dak contract with the 2 voidable years and what they're going to do before the money kicks in from the TV deals and everything that revenue comes through. Man, they have a 3 to 4 year window to get busy. I said this before the press conference today. I'm going to double down on it. This contract legitimately, to me, shifted the spotlight to Stephen Jones. We all know Stephen's been hella cheap. Now, last year, smidge better. Like the names were better. The money wasn't high. But it was a smidge better. Like, oh, Dalterio Poe. Oh, Gerald McCoy. Oh, Everson Griffin. Could we get him? Yeah. And look, in Loki, we got Griffin. He got single blocked by Baker Mayfield on a end around to a wide receiver to throw a touchdown pass. He left and did better in Detroit. Whatever. Whatever. But the names and the schools they came from, the temperament of what they have been in the league were better. So that should lead us to we should capitalize and build on that. Now, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But I do believe this. I think Dan Quinn is here. He's not the long-term young gun guy to go out here and we're going to wait and see what he does with the defense. He was a guy brought in just like Mike McCarthy, get us over the hump. Mike McCarthy was brought here as the head coach to get us over the hump. Dan Quinn is the guy to come in this defense, get us over the hump, right? So we're already hearing certain things like Reggie Robinson II. Oh, yeah, the kind of player you said you're going to say, no, you're a cornerback. Oh, yeah. Jalen, middle line, no. 4-3 under, bear front, whatever. You're a Sam. You're going to be closer to the line. We're going to split the field for you. And we got to move forward from that. We got to move forward from that. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I think that contract, contrary to popular belief, is a win for us. And we'll see. But with that being said, man, follow me as always. YouTube, Stargame Podcast. Sub, like, follow, notification button. As my guy Jay Tuck says, somewhere down there. On Facebook is Stargame. There's a group, there's a page. Join the group, like and follow the page. And man, if you're on Twitter, your _guy_Knicks, man, come follow me. We're headed to our 3rd year here with Stargame. We had a good time, we had a good ride. And hey, our franchise quarterback is here for the long term. Good times. Appreciate y'all, man. We're going to jump in here and let y'all know, like, these Dak numbers that y'all are hearing are going to change. 22 this year. Don't worry about next year. It says 33, which really isn't bad. Like, literally, 33 next year is still less than the Eagles are paying the Colts to take Carson Wentz at 34. That's where we are. Keep it 100. But that's going to be under 20 next year if they choose to.